Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film Good Morning, which is a Japanese film produced in 1959 and directed by Yasuhiro Ozu. The film talks about two boys who really wanted to have a TV set at home so they could watch their favorite TV shows. As they didn't have this TV at home, they liked to watch TV on the next door neighbor with one of their colleagues. However, the mother of this colleague is thought to be a cabaret singer, so the parents of the boys forbade them to watch TV on the neighbor's house. But the boys didn't want to obey their parents. They still wanted to watch TV in the neighbor's house, and they started to throw temper tantrums, and they annoyed their parents because they asked for the TV set all the time and the parents didn't want to buy it. And then once their father scolded the children because they were speaking too much. Then the boys decided to do a silent strike. Not only at home, but also everywhere, at school and so on. And it gives rise to many funny situations. Something that the boys questioned, and that is also discussed in the film, is about the usefulness of greetings like good morning, how are you, hello, and this kind of things, instead of people saying what they really mean. And then they are in silent strike at school too, and the teachers start to wonder what was going on, until it reached the point that the teacher went to the house of the boys to talk to the parents and ask what's going on. Meanwhile, we have a subplot in this film that the aunt of those boys, who also lived in the household, she was kind of interested in an English translator, and he was also interested in her, but they had difficulty in talking about their real feelings. And the English translator, he was a little bit insecure because he was out of job. He was doing those translation works only as odd jobs. And then finally, the boys someday, they disappeared from home, taking some rice and tea because they were very hungry, but they still were on a silent strike, so they couldn't ask their mother to feed them. So they stole the food from their own home and they started eating on the street. And then a policeman saw that and told the family of the boys. And then the aunt of the boys, she went to try to look for the boys, and she went to the house of the English translator. He didn't know about the boys didn't come to his house, but he decided to help to look for the boys because they left home in the afternoon and in the night they weren't back yet. Then the English translator got to find the boys and bring them home. But when the boys arrived home, they realized that the father had indeed bought a TV set because he wanted to encourage his friend who was working as a door-to-door salesman. So he bought the TV from his friend. And then, of course, the boys, they were very happy when they saw that, and they stopped their silent hunger immediately. And we can see towards the end of the film that the love between the aunt of the boys and the English translator, it was growing stronger, that it was mutual. And the film provides some really interesting reflections. It shows the contrast between the traditional Japan and modern day Japan, the television being a symbol of modernity, and the contrast between talking and not talking, small talk, if it's useful to talk so much, and that when people really have to say meaningful things like love, it's difficult, but it's so easy to say meaningless, stupid things. It's mentioned explicitly in the film. And it's also shown the relationship between the neighbors, especially the female neighbors, who gossiped very often. And the mother of the boys was even the target of all this gossip, because the local women's club charged some fees. And the mother of the boys, she was the treasurer of this women's club. And she was supposed to catch the money from all women and deliver to an older woman. And she did that. She delivered the money to this older woman. However, the woman was very senile and forgetful. So she ended up forgetting that she received the money. And the mother of the boys, she was indirectly accused of having stolen the money, but then the elderly woman realized that she had received the money and that the mother of the boys was an honest woman, and then it was a kind of awkward situation, but the women who accused her apologized with her, and the fact that the boys didn't talk to the neighbors, the other female neighbors thought that it was an act of revenge of the boy's mother, but it wasn't the case. So the film seems to have a simple plot, but it's actually a very deep plot that makes lots of reflections, that has deep subjects being talked. As usual, in Ozu's films, the path is very delicate. The film really flows slowly, so it's an extremely relaxing experience to watch it. We can see how children play it, how children could be silly. We could see children being themselves. And this film is even famous because it shows the boys farting, and it was very funny. It's not something that is usually shown in films. So we can catch a glimpse of the domestic life in Japan back then. So it's also a very nice historical witnesses. Ozu's films were usually very delicate, very slow. It showed the routine of people, especially the family routines, which is something that we don't usually see in films either. And in this film you can see family life, childhood, the love flourishing, gossip, how neighbors got along with each other. So it's a really, really interesting thing. I strongly recommend this film. It is a classic for a reason, and I'm sure you're going to love this. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you!